Hello, and welcome to our third D&D 3.5 Prestige class review. In this series, I'm going to be going over the various aspects of a particular D&D 3.5 Prestige class, and evaluating the class on its concept and execution. I'll also give my thoughts on its individual abilities, as well as some ideas for how I would improve the Prestige class. I will assume that you'll have fairly in-depth knowledge of the D&D 3.5 rules for the purposes of this review, and as with any review, in the end this all boils down to my personal opinion. Today we're going to be looking at the Forest Reeve, a prestige class from Complete Champion. The Forest Reeve is a protector of the woodlands, patrolling for threats to its well-being. This class strongly favors rangers, but theoretically anyone could join. In fact, the reason I chose this prestige class for today's review is because it's another one that I have a personal connection to, as my dad played a Forest Reeve when I DM'd for him as a teenager. His character was a multi-class of Ranger and Barbarian, showing that you don't have to be a pure Ranger to take this class. The only real level gating prerequisite for this Prestige class is the +5 base attack bonus requirement, so you're going to want to play full base attack classes to get into Forest Reeve. You'll also need 6 ranks of survival, requiring you to at least play a class giving you survival for a couple of levels, or starting as one. For the other skill requirements, you could technically get them by taking them as cross-class skills, but in practice this won't happen very often. You're also going to need the endurance and track feats, which are easiest to get with 3 levels of Ranger. The last requirement involves studying under a character with at least 3 levels of Forest Reeve for 6 months, or by performing a great service for the Guardians of the Green, the organization which the Forest Reeve Prestige class is part of. In most campaigns this is likely going to be the latter. Personally, I sped this up with a few trials for my father's character to undergo, including a Wilderness Survival Challenge and a Trial by Combat. For joining this Prestige class, I'd suggest either 5 levels of Ranger, or 3 levels of Ranger and 2 levels of Fighter for the typical bonus feat level dip. 2 levels of Barbarian is also a solid option. Once you're in this Prestige class, you get essentially the Ranger skill list, which helps you continue advancing your skills. As for class features, you start out with Fast Movement, which stacks with that of the Barbarian, as well as the ability to heal yourself while outdoors, or apply even Lesser Restoration or Bear's Endurance spells to yourself. Likewise, you can give yourself a +1 enhancement bonus to any weapon you're wielding as a move action while in the wilderness. This enhancement bonus improves up to +3 at level 5. At level 2, you get Woodland Stride as the Druid class feature. If you already have it, you get an additional +10 foot bonus to your land speed. This could be nice if you somehow join this class from Druid, or spend extra time in Ranger. Either way, you still get the feature, which is helpful. At 3rd level, you get Swift Tracker, another Ranger class feature you would have gotten anyway. At 4th level, you get Camouflage. You'd be character level 9 by this point, and Rangers don't get it until level 13, so this is a good way to get the class feature early. Still, while it isn't a terrible class feature, it is situational and thus not particularly strong. This is probably the weakest level of the Forest Reeve Prestige class. At 5th level, your Nature's Rejuvenation gains its 3rd daily use, and your Earth's Defender ability can now enhance your weapon to a +3 enhancement bonus. I suggest having some special abilities loaded onto your actual magical weapon, so that you can still gain benefit from this ability, because it overlaps with the actual enhancement bonus of the weapon, and having special abilities on there will keep your actual enhancement bonus as low as possible. Also at 5th level, you get what I consider to be the most flavorful ability of the Prestige class, which is Whispers of the Forest. This lets you, once per day, ask nearby plants, rocks, and trees about current wilderness events. You get 1 question, and unlike the Speak with Plants spell, the question can encompass a radius of up to 1 mile per minute you spend communing. Speak with Plants only allows you to learn of things that took place in the plant's immediate vicinity. This is a decently strong divination effect. Perhaps I would have preferred this to be available at level 1, but as a capstone, I think its flavorfulness makes up for its lack of impact. Overall, this Prestige class is average to mediocre. It gives you many features you would have gotten anyway by taking Ranger levels, and a slightly improved version of a 2nd to 3rd level spell as a capstone ability, and the ability to cast some spells that you might have gotten anyway from Ranger, but only in specific circumstance, though admittedly one that you'll often find yourself in. It gives you Camouflage early, but again, this ability is pretty situational. The Forest Reeve is not excellent power-wise, but it's not a bad diversion from Ranger, and it does come with a full base attack bonus, so at least it's keeping your fighting ability progressing. Nature's Rejuvenation gives you 3 spells from a limited list per day, as opposed to the presumably 2 second-level spells you could select from the entire Ranger list. So it's a loss for versatility, but a win for spells per day. The casting requirements are more restrictive though, as you must spend 1 minute in contact with a plant to use it. So I would give this class 4 stars for concept and 3 stars for execution. As for how I would have changed this prestige class, I'd have made the Earth's Defender feature activated as a swift action. I'd have also simply made it an attack bonus, or at least had it stack with the weapon's existing enhancement bonus. It's not a terrible ability flavor-wise, but by the time you are getting this ability, you'll likely already have a +2 or +3 weapon, assuming your Dungeon Master is keeping up with your wealth by level. Nature's Rejuvenation is a fine ability as is. I can't see any real good way to improve it, but level 4 definitely needs another flavorful feature, perhaps some kind of blind sight or life sense while in the woods. I would likely move the Speak with Plants ability to level 2 or 4. For level 5, perhaps the ability to summon animals or to take on some woodland animal aspect to defend the forest would be nice. This is a prestige class very focused on fighting and adventuring in the forest, as it should be, so something to that effect would be nice. So, that's about it for this prestige class review. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.